they brought out like a plate of freshly washed blackberries or something like that. And she was like, he went and got them under the cover of darkness.
Yeah. This is the Exploring the National Parks podcast with Dirt in My Shoes. My name is Ash, and I'm a former park ranger and the founder of Dirt in My Shoes. I think that the parks are best seen from the trail, and I'm here to make national park trip planning easy.
And I'm John. I carry the kids on the trails, I tell stories, and notice all the things that Ash doesn't care about much, like birds.
Join us as we show you around America's spectacular national parks.
We're sharing our favorite places, fun facts, adventures, and misadventures.
And we'll even throw in a little trip planning.
Let's start exploring.
Probably the number one request that I've had for this podcast is for us to talk about food. People keep asking me, like, I want you to do an episode on food. I want you to talk about some of the food that you like. And when we talked about Acadia, we talked a lot about food because Acadia is like a great national park to go to if you love food.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's a great foodie park.
It is. But we're not going to talk about Acadia in this episode. And this is going to be a short episode. So we're only talking about 3 places, and we'll do more of these as time goes on so that we can share some of our favorite, because we do have a running list.
Yes. Every time we come home from a trip, I would like to write down the most memorable foods, good or bad.
Yeah. Well, and all the ones that we want to try to recreate in our own home.
Yes,
which,
exactly.
Have we done any of that? No. We just go back to the park and get it again.
It's kind of like that show on Netflix, Nailed It.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
This is what it should look like. This is what our attempt looks like. It's the worst.
Yeah. So today we wanted to talk about 3 different places that we've eaten as we've been traveling around the national parks. And 2 of these places are fantastic.
Oh, awesome.
Great. Delicious food. And then one of these places is don't try it.
Yes.
We wanted to include both, although I would say the ratio is wrong because it's not usually like 2 good and 1 bad. I would say it's usually like 2 good, 2 bad.
Yeah.
50% chance that the food's going to be good when you're eating in the parks.
Yeah. Sometimes the national park lodges can be really disappointing. But then there are those places that we find that it's just like, this just brought the whole average up.
Yeah.
Way high.
And we'll continue to keep trying all the restaurants.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's go. This is my favorite. I crave this place.
Yes.
And so we are going up to Ashford, Washington. This is a community right outside of Mount Rainier National Park.
Yes.
Which already is one of my favorite national parks to visit.
Oh, it's so good.
But then you add in food from the Copper Creek Inn in Ashford, and the thing that they have here that I am just obsessed with is their blackberry butter.
Yes. It is so good.
It is so good. And
heavenly.
They bring out these warm rolls, and then they have blackberry butter to put on it. And oh my gosh, I just cannot get enough. I would eat there every single meal if I could. And you can buy the blackberry butter. You can take it home with you.
We have purchased blackberry butter, and me and the boys are not generally allowed to touch it.
Yep, that's mine. The cool thing about this restaurant, so it's the oldest continuously operating restaurant in Washington.
Wow.
In this little town of Ashford.
Oh, wow. That's really cool.
Yeah. But the thing that they do really well is blackberries. And so they have blackberry pie, which is amazing, by the way.
We did. I love that.
It's
their pie.
really good. I'm not usually a pie person, but blackberry pie, I will consume as much of that as I can at the Copper Creek Inn. They have, so for breakfast, they have blackberry syrup.
It's
homemade. They make it there, so it's so good.
Oh my gosh, everything that they make there is really good.
Yeah,
but I love, like, there's just something about blackberries in the Pacific North. We had a friend, actually, I remember this. One of your friend's husbands
they live in Seattle.
They live in Seattle. And we went to their house for dinner. And I remember, so he wasn't in the room when she told us this, but she was like, they brought out like a plate of freshly washed blackberries or something like that. And she was like, he went and got them under the cover of darkness.
Yeah. Well, and then we were like, really? Did you really do that, Nate? And he's like, yeah, they're everywhere. but they're weeds.
Uh-huh.
Basically, in the Pacific Northwest. It's just like they're everywhere. But he didn't know if he was supposed to pick them or not. And so he just like went out in the middle of the night and like filled a whole bunch of buckets full of blackberries.
And he didn't keep it secret to make sure that nobody found his special stash.
Yeah. He wouldn't even tell us where it was.
Oh my gosh.
So blackberries, they do really well up there. Copper Creek Inn. They also have a blackberry vinaigrette, which I got the salmon once and they put the blackberry vinaigrette on top of it. It was so good.
Yeah, I remember trying that because
you got one little bite.
Bite with me. One bite.
You got one little bite, and I was hoarding all the blackberry everything. So that is my number one pick for this episode of my favorite place, and I plan on going back in a few weeks.
Yes.
We're going to be up in Rainier, and you better believe if you want to see me in Rainier, just go to the Copper Creek Inn for any meal, and I will be there.
She'll be the one with extra high cholesterol from ordering 5 pounds of blackberry butter.
Yeah, but it's fruit, so it's healthy.
Exactly. All right, I'm going to take you on a quick break from the podcast because I want to share something that has turned out to be really fun for me and the family. I'm talking about the free Dirt in My Shoes National Parks checklist. As simple as it sounds, this list of the national parks has become something I really love to look at. Organized by state and with a little checkbox next to each of the national parks, this checklist has become something of an adventure diary for me. With all the national parks listed on one page, it makes it easy to see what adventures I've had and which ones I have to look forward to. After you put yours up, I think you'll find that you have way more invested in it than you originally realized. And it will turn out to be more rewarding than you expected. Try to put it up in a somewhat visible space, because you'll find yourself having conversations that sound like, "Ooh, do you remember when we went there? That was so cool, let's do it again." Or, "When do you think we'll make it there? That sounds like so much fun, let's go there next year." You'll find that it's pretty good at making adventure buddies out of the people that matter most. Besides, you bought those hiking boots for a reason. You might as well get credit for where they've been. To get your own free Dirt in My Shoes National Park checklist, click on the link in the show notes below or go to our website, dirtinmyshoes.com/podcast. Oh my gosh. Okay, this next one is one of my favorites, and this is taking us to the other side of the country. So I feel like this national park, Great Smoky Mountains National Park, has one of the great fun gateway towns in Gatlinburg. So there's tons of restaurants, there's tons of things to do. And yet my favorite thing is this specific restaurant called Crockett's. And Crockett's is like this super fun, almost like a mountain man breakfast place. And so
it is so popular too.
It is.
If you don't get on the wait list, you wait and wait and wait.
The line out the door, but we got there like as it opened, and we still had to wait 45 minutes or so, and it hadn't even opened yet.
Yeah, that place is, but they added a wait list. Last time we were there, they didn't have a wait list that you could get on online before. And so do that because every time we've eaten there, it takes forever to get a table, but it's 1,000,000% worth it.
Yeah, and it's right outside the gateway to the park. And it's amazing. You go inside and you just feel like you're eating with Jim Bridger, or some of these other, Davy Crockett, of course, it's his name. Why would I be eating with Jim Bridger? We're eating with Davy Crockett. He's the hero of the Alamo, I think.
The other mountain men. Not Crockett, the most famous one.
Oh, Davy Crockett. You go in there and it's this awesome vibe where you just you're eating in this cabin in the woods.
They've got big fireplaces and dead animals on the wall and all that good stuff.
It's awesome. And the menu is like a newspaper. And so you get to learn about the area. You learn about Crockett's. So it's a fun cultural experience of, being in Appalachia. It's just really cool. And then the food comes out and it's just mountains of food. But
only if you order what John always orders, which is...
Why would you order anything else?
I know. Well, I've stopped ordering and I just eat some of yours.
Right.
Because it's so much food. But you get the skillet breakfast.
Yes, I do.
So it comes with a skillet, as the potatoes and eggs and meats and stuff all cooked into a skillet.
Right.
So it comes with that. But then it also comes with corn pone, potatoes, grits, biscuits and gravy. And then the star of the show, John's favorite thing.
Oh, the griddle cakes. It's these griddle cakes. Okay, it's pancakes. But if you've ever ordered a pancake at a restaurant, you know, they're like a centimeter thick. These ones are like 3 inches thick.
And they're in a big cast iron griddle.
Yes.
They serve it out straight out of that.
Oh my gosh. And it's incredible. It's like eating birthday cake in a pancake form for breakfast. It's just so good. And they've got all this butter. They've got this amazing maple syrup. And there's no way you can finish it all. And so it's
not
like,
for lack of trying.
Not for lack of trying.
Yeah.
And then you get to go into the park, and it's like you should bring like what they have on the old cartoons, you know, where they just like, okay, then they just like all the food is in the middle of the table, and then you just like wrap up the tablecloth and then like just tie it to a stick and then put it over your shoulder, you know. Yeah. That's how you should go into the park.
The cinnamon rolls are really good too.
They are.
So we've gotten those too before, but the skillet breakfast is like enough food for 3 people.
Oh my gosh.
It's so much food.
Davy Crockett,
you mean Jim Bridger? Yeah.
All of us eating that breakfast together might not be able to finish it, but it's so good.
Yeah, we love Crockett's. Crockett's is really fun. Okay, so now let's jump to the not so good food item that we had.
I wish I could do the prices right, like the trombone. Womp, womp, womp.
So this is taking us to Sequoia National Park, and it's at the Waxahachie Lodge.
Mm-hmm. Which is
the
awesome.
Restaurant right there. Yeah.
It's beautiful.
It is. It's beautiful. But last time we were there, we tried, they have like famous ice cream that they serve. And one of the flavors was honey lavender. And we were like, that sounds interesting. And the waiter was like, oh, yeah. Like, you've got to try this. It's really unique. And it's something that you can get here that you can't get. I don't know. I'm sure you can get us somewhere else.
It was unique.
But
and you can't get it lots of other places because it's not so good.
Yeah. So
it's like eating potpourri from your grandma's house.
Covered in honey.
Honey lavender?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like just pour some honey on that, little crunchy flowers. It was not so good.
My brother liked it okay. He was like, yeah, sure. And the rest of us are all like,
I think it's because we bought his dinner.
Yeah.
So he was out of niceness. This is great. Thank you.
So that would be our recommendation to pass on. Just go with some good old-fashioned chocolate if you order ice cream at
they
the
have
Waxahachie
other good
Lodge.
ice creams. Sometimes you need, maybe you like lavender, maybe you like honey, but I probably wouldn't mix them. I don't know. It just didn't hit the spot for me.
Well, lavender is a floral scent.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of, and I love, like, we have lavender bushes at our house. I love the smell of lavender. I love having it around, but I don't like eating it.
Made for your nose,
yeah,
not for your mouth.
Yeah. So that would be one we recommend passing on.
Right. And that's, but this is an interesting thing because a lot of times National Park Lodge food isn't great quality. Doesn't necessarily, taste bad. But I would say in this case, the quality was probably good. It just tasted bad.
Yeah.
So it was probably really good honey lavender ice cream. Just turns out that it's garbage in the first place.
The rest of our meal was good,
yes,
for the record. We did like
awesome.
that restaurant. But yeah, the ice cream, ugh. So those are our 3 spots we wanted to talk about today. Ending it on a high note there.
Yes, exactly.
But blackberry everything at the Copper Creek Inn. The griddle cakes at Crockett's.
The mountain of food at Crockett's.
And skip the lavender honey ice cream at Sequoia.
Thanks for exploring the national parks with us.
Please share, like, and subscribe. And if you need any help planning your own trip, click on over to dirtinmyshoes.com.
See you next week. Same time, same place.
And don't forget to get some dirt in your shoes.